Got the UFC contract. I guess give us the emotions, the feel that you got it done.
Yeah, huge week of emotions. I just caught Dana for a couple of minutes out the back and just sort of spoke about the performance, and I just said, mate, it was such a pressure cooker this week. I had some troubles getting a visa, so we ended up flying in late, and I got in at 10:30 and then got picked up at 6:30 to come here and do media, and it was all a bit of a whirlwind. But I think the Contender maybe is designed for that a bit, to try and weed out the guys who can't handle that high pressure. And, maybe it got a little bit to me in the performance there, and I didn't let my hands go or my kickboxing prowess show. But, I did enough to get the job done, and that was what I came here to do, is to get the contract.
Immediately after, even before you started getting Dana's feedback, did you think that wasn't enough, or did you feel it was? How did you feel immediately after?
Yeah, look, I was just a bit overwhelmed. I just thought, you get the finish. I think I 10-9'd him in the first, 10-8'd him in the second, and then finished in the third. So, on paper, in any other scenario, you go, wow, what a performance. But with the pressure that comes with being in the apex for Contenders, you go, fuck, was that enough? So, looking back on it now, I was a bit disappointed, and my coaches both said to me, mate, pull your head in, you did very well. So, got the contract, and now the real work begins. It's murderer's row now, so time to pull the finger out and really get going.
I was going to say, it was such a dominant performance, right? So to see you kind of down, it really wasn't my best effort. I didn't really look that good. You did. You look great. You know what I mean? So, do you find a way to let this go and be happy about it?
Yeah, my coaches will tell you straight away that in the training room, I'm really critical of myself. I'll get out of sparring, and if I do 10 rounds and I lose one, I'll just talk to them about that one round, and they're on me about sort of not getting stuck on that. And I'm pretty good at letting it go. So as soon as I leave here, I'll let that performance go and look forward. But I am very critical of myself. That's I hold myself to a high standard.
Do you? During the fight, was there any part of you that was like, why will this guy not go away?
No, not necessarily. I just thought he played real safe. If someone gets on top and he's landing those elbows, and especially when you get cut and you go, this is risk to get stopped here. I thought he was going to turn his back and give me some opportunities to get some chokes, or even try and open his guard and work back to his feet where I could get some openings there. But he was happy to just sit on the bottom. So I think I need to do a little bit of work on my grapple boxing. So I think my jiu-jitsu was good tonight, but I think the ability to land shots from inside his guard and put the pressure on with strikes, I could improve on that. So I'll get back in the gym Monday and really work on that.
Dana said he was actually meeting with some Australian officials this week. Countries opening back up, shows back in that part of the world. I guess, does that excite you to think about competing there? Or are you more excited hey, I want to be at T-Mobile or Madison Square Garden or what? Yeah,
I've got a bucket list of places I want to fight. Vegas was one of them, so that's ticked. New York's another one. But I would love to go back to Melbourne or Perth or Sydney, wherever it be in Australia, and fight there. But yeah, I'm here for the ride now. So wherever Sean and Dana want to send me, I'm going. And once I get a couple of wins, I'm going to start saying some names and really making my way to the top.
Last thing for me, obviously you wouldn't be calling anybody out yet, but as far as the debut, we're hearing rumors maybe February in Australia. Would you want to wait that long, or would you prefer to book something more soon?
I got to talk to my coaches. Look, my gut instinct says that I want to go in December, but maybe given that it's going to come to Australia in February, there might not be enough time there to go December and February. So it's just about making the right decision for my career. But yeah, I'm easy.
Hey, Jack.
What's happening, brother?
Where'd your nickname come from?
So there's a famous Australian racehorse called Farlap. And Farlap was famous during the Great Depression for having a big heart. Just doesn't give up, doesn't stop when it gets hard. And one time I was rolling with a heap of guys, and I was only a kid, and we were rolling, and everyone sort of dropped off. And at the end of the round, I was left going, who wants another round? And one of the guys looked at me and sort of said, you're like Farlap, kid, you just don't stop. And then I sort of say, yeah, I'm Far Jack, and it just stuck from there.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And finally for me, can you share again how your coaches told you that you were going to fight on the show?
Yeah, so me and my coach Simon, we support the same football team. And he's always saying, come around and watch a footy, come around and watch a footy. And one day he calls me, he says, you come around to watch a footy today? And I said, yeah, I'll come around. I'm just having a hit of golf. And he goes, yeah, okay. And then he calls me again 2 hours later, and he's like, hey, just checking you're coming around to watch a footy. And I'm like, yeah, mate, I'm coming, relax. And then when I rocked up to his house, I was in the driveway on my phone, and my phone rings again. I'm like, mate, I'm here. Get off me back. And then we went in, we were watching the game, and at half-time he started showing me around the house, and he puts a fight of Freddy's on, and he was watching, he goes, oh, this guy just got signed to Contender. And I said, oh, really? Is he a featherweight? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, who's he fighting? And he said, oh, just some nobody. And I was immediately disappointed. I was like, well, that's a featherweight in the last 2 weeks, so I don't think I'm going to get my shot. And we watched the whole fight, and then he goes, well, it's you he's fighting. And I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, that was a pretty cool moment for us to have. I specifically asked my manager, Tim Simpson, if he could tell Simon, so Simon could tell me, because that's a pretty special moment for us to have.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, and congratulations.
Thank you. Anybody else? Do you remember when we met?
When? No, when was it?
UFC Liverpool. Dan Kelly versus Tom Breeze. I was with Dan Kelly.
I do remember that.
And you were doing Dan's interview, and I had to come down and bring him something. And I told you, I said,
remember now.
I said, you'll interview me one day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Thanks
Sweet,
for
guys.
reminding me of that.
Thanks, everybody.